And it's like, okay, I don't know if I can rock with this whole thing.
And this is
I've seen
Handmaid's Tale, right?
this is a Handmaid's Tale. I know it's done by now,
Right.
but it's like
No,
I've
they just
started
did a
it.
new season. They just did a
They
new one.
did? Oh God, that's why. I watched the first 2, 3 episodes, and I'm like, I don't know if I can. It's not that it's too dark for me. I can deal with it, but again, it's too much of the just synonymous with the modern messaging that I hear from everybody else. The woe's me.
Mm.
We're so oppressed. The world's just like that. I'm like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? It's become synonymous with that, and it messes up my ability to watch the show unmessed with,
Right.
unchecked.
Yeah, again, when they try to do too much in a series. But the thing is, what I realize is because they ordered so many episodes and they really trying to draw this out so they could do 100 episodes so they could be on reruns forever or stream forever. That is part of the problem, you know,
Syndication is cool and all. That's the goal for I think a lot of shows.
financially. Financially, yeah.
Financially, yeah. But my thing would be like, okay, do you have enough for it to get that far? You can tell your full joint in 3 seasons. You can tell a full story in 24 episodes.
Right.
Right? You don't have to go on for sprawling
For
series
for
after
going
series.
on sake. And that's the problem. A lot of them
Yeah.
just want to just stretch it out.
So Walking Dead had that problem. Walking Dead didn't need more than 4 seasons, and then it should have been done. Breaking Bad got just amount of reroute, the right amount of time with I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons as well,
Yeah, they did it
something like
well.
that.
They knew how to
You can
end.
make it work.
Yeah. Speaking of where'd they leave off with Walking Dead? You know? I don't even know.
I'd check that after like season 3 or 4.
Hmm.
So I was gone. They after they killed Glenn.
Gotcha.
Um,
So
I
for
stopped.
anyone that's joining in, this is part two of Desire of Fame. Or something of fame. I can figure out the title. But I mean, right now we have the most dangerous vehicles ever as far as narcissism and self gratification, which is these apps, the TikTok, the Instagram, and the other ones you can make money from by showing your toes and God forbid what else you do on there. Um, where would the bubble burst first, you think, to really make people think different about fame or just this desire to just want to be, or it's not, it's just going to keep going?
Okay, I'm going to backtrack from what you just said for 2 seconds though.
Mm,
I don't want us to fall into the category of it's the evil technology apps that are making us like that. No, those traits were already in the human condition long before.
mm,
The apps, the internet, all this stuff that's out here,
mm.
it's just a lens. I watch too much Black Mirror, so I think this is where this mindset's coming from. But like,
Which is a
you know,
great series, by the way. Great.
it's good. It's the first few seasons are definitely good. Later seasons, I gotta. Oh, that's another one. I gotta watch the new season of that too. Thank you for
Mhm.
reminding me. Um, but yeah, to what I was getting on. We tell on ourselves. It's not the evil apps doing it to us.
Mhm.
We're already like this. It's what you do with it.
Mhm.
It's like the logic of Harry Potter, magic and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
magic itself is not evil. It's the person and what they want to do with the magic, right?
Mhm.
So I don't where the bubble bursts in Drew's head canon, it's an EMP goes off, we lose the internet, and
Mhm.
for X amount of weeks, X amount of months, everybody has to go without, and no one can go viral. It's just about survival.
Mhm.
And I think the people that don't immediately crash out are going to have that, like, pardon the term, their come to Jesus moment. And it's like, and no, and they'll have to have like that real moment of like, oh my God. So without all the technology and stuff, my life is reduced to these bare essentials, which is what matters, not going viral.
Right.
I'm giving people too much credit on that one. So I think instead, what they'll just be, we have to have enough Johnny Somalis go to jail for 30 years before people realize maybe being a dweeb online for likes and attention is not the way to go.
Mhm.
It'll take enough cases of 12 to 14 baby mamas surrounded by one douchebag. They're all trying to go viral, but all of them are on EBT or whatever. And it's like, I'm mad at the system, but my baby's daddy, he's like a rapper. He's like a trap rapper that doesn't want anything to do with me and my kids. You have to have enough cases where society crashes out because of that for people to be, okay, this maybe
this is not working.
Thing is not working out. Let's maybe, the people have to want to do it first. That's the rub.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't got faith in people like that. I really don't. No, folks aren't going to get there.
All right. Hearing you and thinking about it, yeah, it would have to be some sort of danger to people's safety, their lives, their food, some sort of something for people to like look at things a little different.
Take it seriously, yeah. And I'm not, again, to clarify, I'm not wishing that on anybody.
Right.
I don't walk around wishing ill will or calamity on people like that. But I'm just saying, for people to want to actively do better, not just talk about being better and doing the work and healing.
Right.
To do that, you have to kind of exist in your bears of spaces. Mm-hmm. I only say this from personal experience. In order to really learn what matters, you got to kind of strip away all the chaff, separate yourself from all the noise and the crap, and just focused on your fundamentals. So too many people live in like la la land to get there, I think.
Right. Well, it's easier. And then, just to totally you got to look at life different, look at your existence, and also how you interact with other people too. Like, there's someone from my college, and they found their faith, allegedly, after transferring out of school, whatever like that. And I heard and it was all around COVID times. All of a sudden, they're an influencer, allegedly, whatever that means. And they got engaged or got married and everything. Her particular faith, allegedly, and she's Muslim and has all the stuff and supposed to be humble and what's it called? It's like showing humility, right? With all the covering the head and all this other stuff. But then,
is this Brittany Renner you're talking about, mate?
Is this who?
Is this Brittany Renner? Or is just a girl that modeled her life?
No.
You're describing the same. So the hijab, is that what you're talking about? The land grant? Yeah, dude, this is.
But I find that the thing that, okay, long story short, the thing that I find that so same thing we said on the last episode, I was talking about like a bishop and like the Christian kind of faith. The thing that's off about it is like, if you're supposed to be humble, then you showing off everywhere you go and the ring and then there's no humility there. Isn't that kind of not consistent with what you're supposed to believe in? And I think I had this conversation with someone earlier today. Funny enough, it's coming up during the show. I don't care what you believe in, what you like or you don't like, just be consistent. Because when you do this thing like this, that stuff, like, you're not fooling anybody but yourself. Just be consistent.
Again, you know who Brittany Renner is. She did this exact same thing. If this is another person that you're describing, this is the pattern of behavior, what that is. Mean guys like me call it being a spiritual 304. But I'm not going to sit there and speculate on her reasons behind her sudden faith. How long has she been a faith? Just out of curiosity. Or she claimed
I got to get all the terms. But I mean, this has been, I guess, been going on the last 2-3 years. But again, the point is just the narcissism. I want to be famous, but I want to be famous and do nothing. Like, just laziness. There's no talent. There's no intelligence. Just.
I want to be famous for just taking pictures.
Yeah, look at me. Look where I am. Look at what I'm doing. I feel sorry for the guy that married such a lazy person. And also, like, again, you're so hardcore on whatever your belief systems are. It's like, just a consistency. I just find it interesting.
There's many people that you and I have known like that, Seven. You can't be shocked at this point. When, another. Oh, just like that. Yeah. Oh, the same archetype. Gotcha. Don't be shocked. Just move smarter. That's what I'll say. When you see people, because when you see people like that, I say that because keeping people like that in your social circle,
Oh, definitely not mine.
you're only as useful as her next like photo op
Mm.
or her next big experience paid on your time or your dime. Guys do this too, but for this particular conversation,
Mm-mm.
it's a she. And yeah, be wary of folks like that, bro. Because again, it's wild to me how people can just wear whole like I guess faiths and swap them out like clothes, like
Mm.
seasonal clothes. It's supposed to be a whole ideology, a whole mindset that you
A
just
way of
you
life. Right.
yeah. I get being new. If you're older in life and you suddenly are of a new caste or position or mindset, that's fine. But this whole I'm of that culture now. You just adorn this whole culture like it's clothing, and
Right.
it shows a lack of self awareness because people don't just change like that,
Mm.
right? But also, like to jump back on what you were saying, it's like that's the resort. That's like some of y'all's resort. It's let me just dip into this whole faith game and try to don this attire and put on a headdress
And figure out a way to
like
capitalize it.
and then try to capitalize it by flashing rings and stuff. I'm like, dude, what? You're missing the point.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's people for you.
So how do we? Well, those that are aware. I mean, mind you, like for the most part, we're here to mind our own business and live our own lives, and we're just giving pop culture commentary of things that we're observing. So we're not judging anyone. Like we could really pass this conversation, really care less. But we're observers. Also, Drew and myself, we're both writers, so our job is to observe and also write and all those things. But
I try to look macro at that stuff. I know there's my certain
yeah,
biases, a little crotchety attitude, but
right,
I do try to look at it for the broader spectrum of people and how they get down.
yeah. Where do we? I think for me and in general, the most that we could hope for is some sense of balance. There'll always be greedy people. There'll always be thieves. There will be narcissism. It is what it is, like you said, part of the human condition. And some people invest in those parts of the human experience and condition more than others. But
Mm.
where and how do we create, nurture the opposite, a sense of balance, so that way it's not so unbalanced?
Oh man, every time I hear balance now, I think of Cobra Kai. That's
Mm,
literally what
nice.
that whole show was about, balance.
Yeah.
Uh, man, I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I have all the answers.
It's like,
That
man,
people,
I
that
don't
people have
know.
one.
Hold on, shots
People
fired for that. Hold on. I gotta get some fire for that one. It's like,
have,
man, I don't know.
I don't know. Like that's a human. That's part of the human problem. Like people got to figure that out, and more importantly, they have to want to be that person themselves.
Right,
There's no there's no rubric. There's no tutorial.
right,
There's no like 8 to 12 step method on how to make less crappy, less narcissistic people. You just got to watch the ones that aren't crash out. And then
right,
if you do have offspring, be like, you see how they act out there? Don't
right.
give them the Trey speech that he had with Furious and Boys in the Hood. You're
Mm,
going to see your boys turn out, Trey. You have to just sit back and watch the people who don't want to just be productive and just be famous for just existing. Watch what happens to them.
right.
Some might even make it, but then watch what happens to them.
Mm.
Then just focus on your purpose, focus on your grind. That's if I had a kid, that's what I would tell them.
You know what's interesting too? Like the desire I want 50 million houses. I want 5,000 acres. I want all the classic cars, new cars, the fast cars, the futuristic, the old school. I want. And
Mm.
when you think about it, that still pushes the arrow toward narcissism and currency, social currency, right?
Yeah.
Because we have social currency, as we were talking about earlier, with likes, this virtual bank that we have, right, that we've created in society. And then we have this thing of things. And I guess the ultimate world for some individuals is that I want all of it. I want these things, but I also want to be famous. I want everyone to know I have these things so I can have that. Or I want this fame, this thing, so somehow that could translate into these
All
physical things.
roads are supposed to lead. Yeah, they lead to this idea
Mm-hmm.
of money and fame, money, fame, and whatever other little perks that coincide with that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's nice to think about. I think we all wonder about what it would be like to be famous at one point. It's something we imagine about,
Mm-hmm.
or something we imagine. But it's like after a certain point, there's that diminished returns. You
Mm-hmm.
make what I call a troublesome amount of money, right? Past a point, it's like where your quality of life actively suffers. Your social life suffers because you have so much money that you don't really know who you can trust and who's actually there for you versus however many zeros are in your bank account. Your
Mm-hmm.
circle of compromise, who you work with can become compromised.
Mm-hmm.
There's current events. I know you hear about that whole Diddy situation.
Right.
You could be just an average working person that gets that shot of working with somebody big, only to find out, dude, this guy's in a ring of sickos. You've been getting paid within a ring of sickos, and now that's your social crew because of that
Mm.
person. So
Birds of a feather.
you can,
Guilty by
or guilt by
association.
association, yeah, guilt by association.
Right.
But my joke is, I need 1 million and then I'm done.
Right.
Anything more than that would be greed. It's enough to take care of you, your immediate family, maybe set some land aside, get some property, but that's most people in life. I think the struggle to get there is enough. Anything
Mm.
more than that, you're being wishy washy.
Mm.
I need 1 million followers. Everybody's got to know who I am. Like everybody who I want needs to want me, and I need to be able to not want anybody. Like, dude, just
Right.
get over it.
Right. And
Get
it's
over.
funny, that is the mindset. It's not just A, it's A and B. Also, I
Yeah.
have observed some individuals where, again, I'm not emotionally invested, but I do find it interesting how there's some personalities that really need not to be rich or need not to be famous, because you could already see, like, once they get to that point, they're not going to be the nicest people to deal with.
Oh yeah, you can see their hunger for that
Mm.
already makes them kind of corrupted. Oh yeah. Again,
Right.
plenty of people were like that, but it's the idea that I'm so hyped on this idea of being famous
Right.
and having all the likes and all the attention that I'm
Mm.
going to actively be a piece of crap now
Mhm.
on my way to get there.
And I'm not going to name any people, but it might slip out. But there are people that are very famous that I know, individuals that have dealt with them, been around them, and worked with them when they were on the come up. And they were a little off, but they
Mhm.
seemed cool. And then they saw them again after they became huge. And it was like, what happened? But, if your eyes were open enough, you saw that this was not going to be good once they got
You
like,
know the analogy that I'll use? It's the super soldiers. Fame is the super soldier serum. It
yes,
only enhances what was already there.
right.
If you are a win, we see this in
Oh, wait,
Hollywood now.
wait. Too many fire moments. Give that to Drew. That was nice.
That's
That
it.
was nice.
Just no. The idea is that if you were a weirdo early on, let's say weirdo is a broad spectrum, but if
Off.
you had those type of personality traits, if you were off, right, and then you get a little bit of juice, a little bit of burn, and maybe get paid for it, that thing in you, that seed, is going to blossom into
Right.
whatever monster that becomes.
Right.
Right. I think in the case of you and I don't know him in real life, but it's like Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
We don't know the guy in real life, but it just seems like how he gets down, how he comports himself, how his trek, how his career has panned out. He's one of the cases where it's like you get the Steve Rogers effect,
Mm.
right? Or that's the term I'll use for it. The Steve Rogers, where it's like, oh, he just seems like a good kid, a
Right.
good dude. Just kind of he went in and made it. He made
Yeah.
that happen.
Yeah. He seemed. He
Keanu
seemed. He
Reeves,
seems. He seems level headed.
he seems level headed and like he's
Yeah.
got kind of like a good head on his shoulders. Keanu Reeves, same thing. Despite the fact that Keanu Reeves has gone through tragic stuff in his life, losing
I, I'm.
friends,
I'm
losing people.
hearing
Like,
consistent good things about him and how he's actually more financially successful than people think. But at the same time, he's so giving, questionable, loving, and it's as if, it's fact that the more fame and the more money he gets, the more it humbles him. Which
he
is the
does.
way it
Yeah,
should work.
that,
Right.
yeah. He's a better case. He's a best case scenario of that.
Right.
Keanu and Michael B. Jordan are two examples of that. Where
Right.
it's like they don't live this ostentatious, like, douchebaggers lifestyle. They're not about
Right.
their persona. They just do their thing.
Right.
Guy who doesn't live.
Versus dun dun dun. The
Who?
list is too long.
Oh yeah, versus everybody, not everybody else. Versus like a huge list of other people in Hollywood who may
Right.
not,
Right.
be of the same mindset. Yeah.
And who might not like this show topic if we said their names.
Okay. It is what it is.
It
We're
is
so
what it
under the
is.
radar, so it's like we're kind of invincible.
This is a fact. This is a fact. Well, you know what? I think that's sidebar, and we'll get back to this before we run out of time. But I shout out to everyone out there that's in media that also gives critique, not criticism, but gives critique to films, TV, different content. Please, if you're going to do this stuff, keep it real. There's too many of y'all like not really going in and critiquing content like they did back in the day. You know what I mean? Back in the day, they would talk about. I think we brought this up on the show. Like people don't go hard on character development and pacing and the shots and the editing. Everything is good. Everything is great. Everything is good. Everything is overly emotional, and it's like that doesn't help us as a culture to get any better. And for instance, you could have a show and co-hosts can disagree, and that's fine because everyone takes things in different. Now, art is art, right? So depending on how you want to, how it's received and how it's given back. But we really got to and I think a lot of that energy of not critiquing and not really, one is laziness. Two, they probably don't know their stuff. And three, they're trying to get the likes. They're trying to be famous. They're trying to be everybody's friend. And it's like, well, you can't do news and or commentary and criticism trying to be everybody's friend because it doesn't work that way. Then you're just trying to stroke egos.
Yeah, you can't be everybody's friend. You can't be up in here trying to like agree with everything.
Right.
And I would say from this standpoint, look at it just from like a general audience standpoint. A show where everyone agrees and it's happy, fun, like time for nakama friend time forever.
Right.
You're not going to watch that.
Because we disagree. I'd be quick to be like, you'd be like, we'll disagree. But we leave it there. But that's good though. I love it when we do those because it's important. It's important.
Yeah, I think a show or circumstance where everybody agrees. People try to. It's called a hug box, but people try to just be in a gestalt and a hive mind. But that peaks.
Right.
That peaks.
Right.
Y'all don't want to be there, no way. You don't really want to be everybody agreeing. Say what you really say.
And I disagree with you. You still have your black card, Drew. You still have your black card. Your standard of blackism is a little higher than some other people. You'd be like,
I don't even say it's higher. No, I disagree. I'll disagree with you on that one. I don't think it's higher. It's just from a different sector. I'm like in a different neighborhood. So it is what it is. It's all fam, but it's like y'all coming for me because I have my neyborhood and I do things that I do in my neighborhood. That's crazy.
Well,
your neighborhood, Drew. I'm like, all right.
I put it this way: y'all are all invited to the cookout, but y'all got to sit. Some of y'all got to sit at the kids' table. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Like, nah, son. You guys sit over there. Nah. And I'm giving you the sippy cup. I ain't giving you. It is what it is. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, social media and just streaming and everything's at access when you want it, how you want it. And I just think too many people got access to the world.
We have lots of distractions. I don't ever want to hear from people these days, I'm bored.
Oh, no.
I think that bored should be an expression that is erased from the human vocabulary because there's too much stuff that we can do, too much stuff that we still have to do.
Right.
I think when it comes to like, or not just like the day-to-day interpersonal stuff, not just pop culture, but just for your own personal life.
Right.
There's always something that you haven't done yet. I'm learning this myself. There's always a deed or a thing
Right.
that you can either work on, improve at, or just learn something new.
And we
There's
all have
plenty of
access
stuff.
to YouTube University. So at any moment, you feel that you got nothing to do, or there's tons of things you could learn and you have access to it all the time. So there's no
Yeah,
excuse.
these are good for more than taking selfies, believe it or not. Use them. Look up a fun fact every day. Look up a
Right.
science fact. Look up a detail, a historical fact. Look up something about the world.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
it. That's all I got.
Instead of edifying your looks or what you wore, what you're about to buy, and copying other people's jokes. I mean, the thing is, like, come on, man. Like, live your own magic. That's how I feel
Live
about
your
it.
own magic.
Live your own
Yeah.
magic.
Live your own magic.
Yeah. I remember when we first started Sonic Eclectic, and there were one or two people. Every time I did something or went somewhere, they would be kind of copying my whole vibe. Like, like every time I got into some sort of something, they would be doing it. And it was weird. It
It
was
could be osmosis. Could be people biting other people's styles. I don't
it
know,
was
but
weird, Drew. It was really weird. Like, yeah. Now I just do stories. I don't even do posts like I used to. Like I just kind
that's
of
but
yeah. But anyway, it was weird for a little while, you know? So live your own magic. That's me. Anyone copies that, that's me. That's me. Trademark. Bang, bang, bang. This show. Bang, bang. All right. So how are we going to end up this desire for fame? How do we? Any words of wisdom or something to be wearful of, or look in the mirror moment? What do you think?
no, I think we covered as much of it as you or I could for this. Pursue it, y'all, but just like I said last time, quit cloud chasing out here. It ain't that serious.
Mm.
Be more about your grind than the results and rewards that you think you're owed from it, because you're not owed nothing.
Wow. Yeah, that's real. Hold on. People fire for that one. Oh
So,
yeah. That's
that's just a core fact of the universe. None of us are owed anything down
right,
to our next breath.
right,
So
right, right.
make the
And you don't
most
know
of
how
it.
many of those you're gonna get too. So yeah, I mean, I think that really do your thing. I mean, and I would say this: if you are going to dance, if you are going to sing, if you are going to whatever you're gonna do, like excel at it. Growing up, people had to be great at things, and then they were allegedly given the opportunity to do the things. And then we all know that's not true in all cases, but it was almost like a blanket thing. Like even photography was special because you took a picture and you had to develop it. You just didn't all day. And if we start to get into this mindset that every shot means something, every moment is special and means something, if you are going to go in front of an audience, like some sort of intent and practice and like respect your audience enough that you give them your all and your best. You know what I mean? But every moment of life shouldn't be a TikTok moment. Like it really,
Yeah, every moment in your life can't be trying to go viral. I think that's the takeaway from that one.
yeah, right. And to your point, be careful what you ask for because you might get that fame, you know, and you might be a young lady or man showing your toes or doing some crazy stuff online to get money. But after you get that money, don't be screaming about you want respect.
The results will be what that is.
Yeah.
The results will be what they are.
And on that note, thank you everybody for watching GEEKCASTER, sci-fi, fantasy, pop culture commentary. I love it when we just talk about these things. And yeah, geekcaster.com. Check us out on cable. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you for riding in and watching us live. Definitely leave us comments on our site.